$100 MBA Show, and today is a Q&A Weekends episode where we answer your question right here on the show. If you have a question you want to ask us, guys, just email us at contact@100mba.net, or you can send me a tweet on Twitter. BizRepublic is my handle, B-I-Z Republic. As always, I'm your host, your coach, your teacher, Omar Zinhom. I'm also the co-founder of the $100 MBA, a complete business training and community online. And today's question comes from Hank. And Hank asks, what's most important when creating my logo? I'm creating my logo right now, and I'd love to know what's important. Great question, Hank. I'm going to give you some really great pointers to stick to when it comes to creating a really good logo. And it's actually simpler than you think. A lot of people overcomplicate, overthink this. And in the process, they come out with a subpar logo. So I want to make sure that you avoid all of that. I'm going to give you some really, really good, precise advice when it comes to what's important when it comes to creating your logo for your business. Speaking of business, let's get down to business. Today's episode of the $100 MBA Show is brought to you by Queensboro.com. For over 33 years, savvy entrepreneurs have trusted Queensboro.com for custom logo apparel. And best of all, $100 MBA listeners, go to Queensboro.com/MBA and you'll receive 30% off your first order. Plus, you'll get a free logo setup, we're talking about logos today, and free shipping. You're going to get a guaranteed fit, guaranteed quality, guaranteed perfect on any item that you choose. And it's all backed by stellar customer service. So that's Queensboro.com/MBA and receive 30% off. Get your logo printed on some really nice apparel. Whether you're creating your own logo or you're commissioning somebody to create it for you, I'm going to give you some rules, some guidelines to help you create a great looking logo. Rule number 1 is make sure you keep it clean and not overcomplicate things. The logos that we remember most are very simple. Look at Apple, look at Nike, look at Coca-Cola, look at Pepsi, Facebook, Google, I can go on and on. They're very, very simple. They're actually just a typeface. Some of them have images that represent their actual company, like Nike or Apple, and some of them are just the actual name of the company, like Facebook or Google. So when it comes to actually writing out the name of your company in your logo, make sure you avoid multiple fonts. You'll notice that most big brands will stick to one font. This allows a strong single message to be sent to the consumer. Occasionally, the biggest brands use additional fonts for advertising purposes for other sub-brands. A good example of this is Virgin Atlantic. Virgin has one font and Atlantic has another. Also, when it comes to fonting, make sure your scaling, spacing, and case are on point. When you start creating your logo, you'll start choosing a font. You'll want to start thinking about case, meaning uppercase or lowercase. Citibank, for example, is all lowercase. HSBC, another bank, is all uppercase. Same thing for the For Dummies books. That logo is all uppercase. Now, scaling refers to how much space is in between each letter in the name of your business. An example of this is Gap, the clothing store. So there's some space between each letter, G-A-P. This is common in luxury brands that are trying to convey a sense of luxury. Acura does this. They have spaces between each letter. The opposite's also true. If you want to convey inexpensive and fast, you can have things smashed together, like FedEx. So these are just pointers when it comes to the lettering and the look of your logo. But let's talk a little bit about brand messaging. The font you choose may go a long way in determining how your brand represents your company, but it won't go all the way. You still have important design decisions like color or the symbol you're going to use if you're going to use one. For example, would the Walt Disney font look so great if it wasn't for a fairy tale castle? Would the Coca-Cola brand be so iconic if it didn't use red and white as its colors? Think about that and think about your own brand. What's iconic about your brand? What iconic symbol do you want to establish? As long as every decision you make when it comes to your logo has a purpose behind it that's reinforcing your brand message, you'll find that your logo says not only what you want, but how others would describe your company. So Hank, I hope that's useful. Some of the tips I shared with you today, there's a few things I want to add to today's topic, to today's question, what's important when creating your logo? When it comes to colors, you do not want to use too many colors. You may want to use just 3 colors. Sometimes just 2 is fine, but I would say a maximum of 3. 2 main colors and an accent color. For example, the $100 MBA is red, black, and white. Webinar Ninja is blue, gray, and black. Also, if you have somebody else creating your logo, ask them to give you the hex codes of the colors they're using for your logo. These hex colors will be really, really useful for the rest of your branding. Whether it's on your website or your business cards, you need to have the exact color codes so they match perfectly in the rest of your business. For example, with the $100 MBA, I know the hex code by heart for our red. Our red is CC0066. We use it so often. It's just an example of how often you use your color to make sure it matches perfectly, whether you're creating a new webinar, you're editing some photos to put on Facebook and you want to use the right colors for the fonts that you're going to be writing on top of the photos. There's always a use to make sure your branding colors are being used properly. And if you're hiring a pro graphic designer to create your logo, they're going to give you all this information, the hex codes, and even the name of the font they're using for your actual logo. So you can use that same font with the rest of your branding on your website. Guys, I got more on today's topic, but before that, I got to give love to today's sponsor, HostGator. HostGator is an all-in-one web hosting solution. So if you're looking to launch a new website, register domain names, get a new SSL certificate for your site, HostGator can help you out with all of these. Plus, they do it without breaking the bank. They're giving every listener of the $100 MBA show a 25% discount. Just go to HostGator.com and use promo code OmarHookup. Again, that's HostGator.com, promo code OmarHookup. Hank, I hope the information I provided today to answer your question on what's most important when creating your logo was useful. My advice is keep it simple. Keep it close to your personality, what you believe in when it comes to what you're offering. There's no need to overcomplicate it and make it look generic like a lot of other corporate-like logos. Make it your own. All right, guys, that wraps up today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Guys, remember, every weekend we do Q&A Weekends. So if you have a question, just email us at contact@100mba.net. We love answering these questions every weekend. You can send me a tweet on Twitter. BizRepublic is my handle, BIZRepublic. That's it for me today, but before I go, I want to leave you with this. It's an exciting time when you're creating your logo for your business. It's the early stages where you start building your brand and start building the identity of your business. But remember, nothing is written in stone. We've rebranded our brand a whole bunch of times. Even the $100 MBA, we adjusted our logo a couple times. Same thing with Webinar Ninja. And that's because we start understanding and evolving and changing as a business. We start realizing what we need to be rather than what we thought we had to be. So it's great to start out with your logo, which is great, but know that it could change in the future and it's part and parcel of being in business. It's okay. All right, guys, I'll check you in tomorrow's episode. Until then, take care.